Lady Mocha is back. I guess my film ran out of time. But this is Bitter Black Bitches Part 2. This is just a continuation. I'm going to try to keep it shorter than what I did the last video. Again, as I was saying before, when it comes to black women, they already feel like we're always on defense. So the moment we opinionate, especially if it has something to do with another black woman, they automatically feel like we're going to condone. We're going to try to come up with excuses for them, for other black women. We can only we reasoning with a whore because we all whore and only hoes can identify with hoes. Let me tell you something. I can identify with almost anybody's struggle without having to actually be in that struggle, okay? I've never been homeless before, but I can identify with a person that's homeless, being I get hungry just like them. So if I see a homeless person in the trash eating out the trash, of course the human side of me is going to be disgusted, like, oh my goodness, he's eating out the trash can. But at the same time, I understand it. The man needs to eat. I mean, he has no money. Nobody's not. Where else is he going to get food? He's a human being. He has to have some type of supplements to fill his, to feed his appetite. And I know a lot of people saying being homeless has nothing to do with being a whore. What I'm stating is some people are just naturally effed up. And even though the concept is not the same, but some people's mindset, like that homeless person probably had opportunities to get a job, probably worked a good job. No telling how good that individual had it before life caught up with him. And he had to resort to becoming a homeless person, having to eat off the street. He probably wasn't always in that situation. It was to say he probably got on drugs, probably went to abusing his family, in and out of prison. For every cause, there's an effect. A lot of times we meet people within their bad seasons. Some people, you may meet them at their lowest point, but that don't mean they've always been low. It's kind of like you just catching them when the credits are rolling. You wasn't there when the movie started. Just because you meet somebody during their struggle, that don't mean they have always been there. Again, this particular guy, and I would not say his name because I know people are messy, and people be, someone will forward him my video, and he had a strong support system. I will give him that because everyone came in on me full force and when attacking me and labeling me as a whore, being very disrespectful, and a lot of it was from other men. But I noticed the majority of his videos, because I've seen other videos he has done, and a lot of his videos pertaining to black women are not really positive. He did a video on child support, how women abuse the system and take advantage of the system. And basically I remember him, discussing his baby's mother and basically saying, all of the difficulties she tried to take him through to get money from him. All of the games and the manipulations and, all of these strategies she used through child support, you know what I'm saying, to try to keep benefiting off of him versus giving him the child if she was struggling or whatever. I'm not going to quote exactly, but his thing was, if a lot of women out there, if they feel like they can't take care of their children, why not just give them to the father? Why you got to just keep going to the judge asking for an increase? I understand that. I mean, believe it or not, there's black women who are in situations with black men who they see go through that struggle. So I definitely empathize with him as a person because I've seen my husband go through that. I've seen his ex-wife take advantage of him through the system, and she used the system as a means to control or take advantage of the situation or to use as an upper hand. So all of these black women that you knocking and insulting, you're not realizing they are with black men who are in the same situation you're in with your child support. Okay? Believe it or not all us on the same team. Okay? I'm not the one on the opposite end who's filed child support went down there, submitted paperwork to file child support so I could live lavishly off of child support, going to best trips, dine at the best restaurants, just so I have another hustle on my back that can prevent me from getting a legitimate gig. Believe it or not, we are in the struggle. These black women who you are insulting, we are in the struggle with y'all. I've never filed child support. I don't have children from other men. I have children from I have a child from my husband. Because I see what other black women go through. I didn't want to have to be one of those ones, that, have to go to the child support office, file a claim, talk to a caseworker, have to, go through the whole shenanigans of just, get money from my child's father as another hustle. It's too much of a headache or a hassle for me. Let me just go to school and better myself so I can have a good job, and I don't even have to go through that. Not only did I do that, I'm married to the man who I had my child from, because I don't want, it's not just his money. I want us to have a family. I want us to raise our daughter together. I want her to not just so much have the benefits of just his paycheck. I want her to have the benefits of having a father. And that's why I made sure when I did have a child, it was from somebody I sincerely loved, not from somebody I wanted a paycheck from. So believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, you have some down by law royal ass black women out here who want better. We all, everybody ain't trying to follow the hustle, the struggle. All of us ain't cut out for that. Me personally, I can't do it. I'm not about to get pregnant from a famous man just to get a paycheck and to utilize that as a hustle. Because in a sense, to me, I still feel like when a woman puts herself in a position like that, while she's thinking she's gaining, she's actually losing. Because these children are off the chain. They don't need a paycheck. They need guidance. Okay? I wanted the father of my child to have a relationship with me. We have a relationship together. We live together. We have a family. You know why? Because I want him to go through the physical stages of my daughter when she was a toddler, when she was became a child, then she went from child to adolescent. He had to experience all the good and the bad with me throughout the process of her going through these stages. Okay, I had rather that than for me to have been going through all these stages by myself and he not have to experience it with me, because all he had to do was send a check once a month. And believe me when I say you cannot put a price on having a father, a man in your life to help you raise that child when that child gets off the chain, when that child gets out of hand. We went through some very rough periods with our daughter, and it took both of us to work together to come together. Okay, so let's not follow behind or let's not make it seem like all black women want is a check. All we want is some allotment coming in every month. So as a hustle, we want to use the child support as a hustle so we don't have to work. That's bullshit. Because I don't want your damn check. I need you to be here to be my support system. I have a girlfriend now, unfortunately, who I guess she fought and tried to hang in there for a long time with her marriage, but I guess she got to the point to where she just knew there was nothing she could do to try to make her husband ship up and get his act together. So she had to leave him, and take care of all these children by herself, and it's not easy for her. She's not talking about the money. She needs it, and she's going to pursue it, and I can't blame her, especially if they had all those children together. But I'm hearing her talk more about wishing that they had their marriage so that they could raise these children together. She's not screaming or hollering about some chick. She's not, I'm a take this nigga to the court and I'm gonna make him pay me. Not all of us are on that level. We ain't all about your paycheck. There's some black women out here who are about family. They want to build something. They want to have a legacy. You know what I'm saying? But it's so many men out here who have had a negative encounter with a black woman and have already labeled all black women as gold diggers. We troublesome. We just got a bad rap, and it's just based on a couple of negative experiences that that man may have had prior with other black women. All of us are not gold diggers. All of us are not out to get you and trap you so you can impregnate us and we can get a check every month. Okay, it's some women out here black women who sincerely want to be loved, who want something. I stood by my husband for the fact that I loved him. And the sad part is, as a black woman, when we do stand by, we still get a bad rep. Like, you know, that's the best you could do. You know, I mean, it's like a damn if we do, damn if we don't. You know, I'm just, some of us have learned that we got to take the good with the bad. That, you know, just because we're with a black man, it doesn't mean we're not going to go through struggles with them. It doesn't mean that they're not going to disappoint us, that we're not going to disappoint them. We've learned to accept the good and the bad. But either way it goes, we the ones taking a rap. Not even understanding, again, that the black women that are being insulted are black women who are actually the ones who standing by these black men. Okay, like, again, this dude is having all this negativity about, you know, women like Blac Chyna and all this other stuff. But guess what? It's a woman who had to stood by you through your struggle. I mean, if you are, you know, complaining and bickering about paying child support, guess what? It's a woman, black woman with you that's right there going through it with you, having to go through it with this other black woman. Okay? So y'all knocking some of us when we are dealing with black men who are getting taken advantage of from other black women. I've had to be a witness to seeing my husband's ex-wife just abuse and misuse the system to try to make things complicated for us. I mean, it was so bad at one point in time in the beginning when his children were smaller that if we had got a new car or anything new, we would try to, like, be discreet about it, because we knew the moment she felt like we had something new or we had something nice, she'd automatically get upset about it and would, you know, use that as leverage to try to get an increase in child support. We could not even live. That's how bad it was. I mean, fortunately, kids are grown now. I mean, the kids even got kids now at this point. So things have changed. He's no longer paying child support, but she is still bitter till this day. We can't go to a family function. We can't, you know, I mean, his children, his daughters are grown now. And to this day, she hanging it over their head about child support. Like, your dad he didn't always pay his child support. You know, I guess because she had decided to take him off of child support because she had hit a very, difficult moment in her life where the child support just wasn't enough. So she took him off of child support so he can pay her under the table versus paying it through child support, because, you know, child support takes out a certain percentage. So she wanted to eliminate the middleman and take him off so all the money come directly to her. And for whatever reason, you know, as the children got older, you know, the child support, she wasn't receiving the same amount she was receiving. So to this day, she is still bitter. She's still resenting him for it. And these children are every bit in their 20s right now and got grandchildren. And this broad is still and her feelings about child support. I'm like, wow, get over yourself. Like, really? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, again, you know, I just this particular guy, he was just so disrespectful, and he had really hurt my feelings, because I know I'm not that kind of woman. I know I'm not a whorish woman. I don't have a whorish background. I'm educated. And the reason why I took it so offended, because I'm actually one of the ones that try to rise above that stereotype, because it grieves me how badly the world perceives us as black women. Like we don't want nothing. We want to live in housing and get away with paying $10 rent once a month. Get a TANF. Are you kidding me? All of us is not happy with that type of lifestyle. Granted, I will admit I was on a system at one point in time. I stayed in housing, but unlike the majority of, like you say, black women do who live off of it and make it become a crutch to them, I utilized it to go to school. You know, I was going to school at the time I was living in housing. My housing was zero because I was going to school full time. And as long as I was going to school, I didn't have to pay no rent. So that was a blessing for me. So instead of me sitting around smoking Newports and eating and getting fat off of ice cream sandwiches with my food stamps, I used it to better myself. That all those years that I was receiving benefits, I went to school. And I've been in school almost every bit of 10, 11 years. That's how long it took me to earn my master's degree. And now I'm actually on my second master's degree. You know, but once I had got my first master's degree, I went ahead and I got rid of all of those benefits. I didn't need it anymore. I mean, it was helpful for the time I needed it for, because at the time I was able to go to school, and I have to stress how I was going to feed my daughter. Now I have to work at the time, just focus on school, because my rent was zero. So I made the best of it. Now, these new school females, they're not doing that. You know, they're on a whole nother level. They're not trying to utilize the system as a stepping stone. They're actually trying to make the system their living grounds. You know, that they're actually comfortable with being right there. They don't want to be elevated to the next level. They don't utilize the system to better themselves. But again, you know, I appreciate anybody who views this video. I'm just so fed up with the disrespect. And the bad part was, even though, you know, this guy was insulting me, him and his followers, and making little hoe jabs and stuff, you know, I still was diligent about it. I didn't go on there and cuss him out. I didn't say, you nig, you this, you that. Because had I did that, then it would have been like, oh, okay, see, we see the hood in you. See. We know you was a hood rat. We know you was ratchet. And my thing is, I'm approaching you like a woman, and I'm just giving you my perspective. And just because I have another way of looking at things, that's what makes us human. That's what makes us different. This world would be boring if all of us thought the same, if all of us reasoned the same. And he actually had some pretty good points when he was trying to reiterate to me why he still didn't condone it. And I was actually getting ready to I was understanding where he was coming from, and he almost had changed my way of thinking in a positive note. But before I could really change my perspective, he had insulted me, and he allowed his followers to insult me, instead of him saying, look, okay, we all are entitled to share our opinion here, but we don't have to do all of that. We don't have to insult. We don't have to throw shade. You know, when you have power and you have authority, don't just only use it to bash somebody or to harm somebody. Use it to uplift somebody. Use your power as in a positive manner. You know, when he encouraged it, and that's what made it so bad. You know, and my thing is, you know, that's like being a black man. You know, the majority of y'all already feel oppressed because of how society sees you. You know, so majority of y'all don't feel like y'all stand a chance, especially with all these police brutalities and these cops getting away with murdering so many of them and getting off and not having a certain time. Y'all are already feeling oppressed. So of course, if a white cop approaches you, you're going to be kind of on guard, because when you have all these examples around you of black men being murdered, who not always just being apprehensive, you know, not cooperative. You know, when you've even witnessed black men who are cooperating with the law and still get killed, still, you know, lose their lives behind the law, it's going to make you hold your guard up whenever you get in a situation and you're around a police officer that approaches you and tells you to get out your car. It's human nature, because you see so much of it. You see so many black men